The Velveteen Rabbit. Once upon a time, in a cozy nursery, there was a little stuffed rabbit made of soft velveteen. He was a beautiful shade of brown with long ears, a fluffy white tail, and a shiny black nose. The rabbit had a special place among the toys in the nursery, but unlike the other toys, he was not the newest or the most impressive. There was a shiny mechanical toy soldier and a beautiful china doll with painted cheeks, both of whom were much admired by the children. The Velveteen Rabbit, on the other hand, was simply a humble, quiet toy left in the corner most of the time. One day, the nursery was filled with the laughter of the child who lived there. She loved all her toys, but there was one special toy that she treasured most: her Velveteen Rabbit. She would hold him close at night, take him to play with during the day, and often talk to him as if he were a living friend. Over time, the rabbit began to feel that he was loved in a way no other toy was. He was no longer just a piece of fabric stuffed with cotton, but something more, something real. But one afternoon, while the rabbit lay on the rug, the other toys in the nursery began to talk amongst themselves. The china doll, who had always been very proud of her painted face and delicate porcelain body, spoke first. "Look at you," she said to the rabbit. "You're just a soft old thing with no real value. Your fur is worn and your seams are coming loose. You're nothing like me. I'm beautiful and delicate, and everyone loves me." The Velveteen Rabbit felt a pang of sadness at the doll's words, but he didn't respond. He didn't know how to argue. He looked at the mechanical soldier, who was always so shiny and bright, and wished he could be as magnificent as those toys. But then a wise old toy horse spoke up. "Don't listen to her, little rabbit," the horse said. "I've seen many toys come and go in this nursery, and I can tell you the truth. What matters isn't the way you look or the way you're made. What makes you truly special is the love you give and receive." The rabbit perked up. "What do you mean?" he asked. The horse smiled warmly. "Well, you see, when a child loves a toy enough, truly loves it, that toy becomes real. It may not look as perfect as it once did, but it has something far more important. It has the love of the child, and that makes it real in a way nothing else can." The rabbit thought about these words, but he wasn't sure he understood. How could he ever be real? He was just a simple stuffed rabbit with no arms to hug or legs to run. Still, he couldn't shake the feeling that the horse was right. One day, as time went on, the rabbit noticed the child playing with him more and more. She would carry him around the house, tuck him into bed beside her, and speak to him softly, telling him about her day. And every time she did, the rabbit felt his heart swell with warmth and joy. He knew deep down that he was loved, and that perhaps was enough. But one day the child grew very ill, and the doctor came to visit. He advised that the room be kept clean and the toys be disinfected to prevent any germs from spreading. The poor Velveteen Rabbit was tossed aside, left to sit in the corner of the room. He felt sad, but he had grown used to the idea of being left alone sometimes. Weeks passed, and the child's illness grew worse. She spent more and more time in bed, unable to play with her toys. The Velveteen Rabbit missed her terribly, but he remained in the corner, waiting patiently. One afternoon, when the weather was warm and sunny, the child's condition improved, and she was allowed outside to play. She was so excited to feel the warmth of the sun again, and she insisted on bringing all her toys with her. The rabbit, though old and worn, was brought along as well. She held him tightly in her arms as they went out to the garden. As the child sat on the grass, the rabbit lay beside her, content but still longing for more. And then something miraculous happened. The rabbit closed his eyes for a moment, and when he opened them again, he was no longer a stuffed toy. He had become a real, live rabbit. His fur was soft and fluffy, his eyes sparkled with life, and he could feel the earth beneath his paws. He was no longer the old Velveteen Rabbit, but a living creature with a heart that beat with love and joy. The child gasped in surprise when she saw him hop to life, but she was overjoyed. "Oh, look!" she cried. "My Velveteen Rabbit is real. He's just as I've always wanted him to be." The rabbit felt so happy and free. He had been transformed by the love he had received from the child. He could now hop and explore the world as he had always dreamed of doing. He ran around the garden, hopping with excitement, his little heart filled with the joy of being real. From that day on, the rabbit was a part of the child's life in a new way. He could play with her in the garden, hop through the fields, and enjoy the simple pleasures of life. And though he was no longer just a stuffed toy, he never forgot the love that had made him real. He had been loved so deeply that it had given him the gift of life itself. And so the Velveteen Rabbit lived happily ever after, cherished and loved, always remembering that it was love and not appearance that made him truly real. The end. Moral of the story ***. The story of the Velveteen Rabbit teaches us that love is what makes us truly real. It's not about how we look or what we possess, but about the love we give and receive. When we are loved, we are transformed in ways we may not even understand, but love has the power to bring out the best in us.